I think I might have worked out the lifeboat situation, because nobody can understand, with that amount of people on the ship, that there was only so many lifeboats. It says there was 20 lifeboats. How could over 2,000 people fit in 20 lifeboats? So there you go. That is why. Let's go back to that. That is why it only had 20 lifeboats, because it wasn't registered as a people carrier, as a liner, as a business to take people. It was registered as a mail ship, which would have only had so many members of staff on board. So that's why. And you think, how the hell did this place, there you go, 65 people a boat. How could this boat have got a licence when it was carrying 2,224 passengers? If you've only got 20 lifeboats, you're only registered to carry 20 lifeboats because you're a mail ship. How the hell did they get these 2,200 passengers on there without a proper licence? Because if it had another licence on it, there would have been more boats to take the people. Now everybody says this story, his story doesn't add up. The reason there was only 20 lifeboats on the boat was because it was registered as a mail ship and would have only have carried so many members of staff. So it's a little hard to work out whether his story is real when it was carrying so many people. Yes, what's your take to my thought on that? 2,224 passengers, 20 boats. This boat didn't have a licence for 2,224 passengers. It had a licence because it was a mail ship. It was registered as a mail ship, not a passenger ship. Today we're going to be talking about the Titanic again. This is a picture I saw on Facebook, an abandoned cinema. But anyway, it's just quite incredible, excuse me, that the Titanic is registered. Well, it's registered as a mail ship, but it was a passenger ship. And I just find that quite incredible that no one really talks about it being a mail ship. And in this video we're going to look at the fact that it also had a swimming pool, but it had some problems because it wasn't put in the middle of the ship, so that when there was any rough seas the water inside rolled rather a lot and so forth. But yes, but anyway, it was a mail ship. It is registered as a mail ship, and the registering it as a mail ship and it being a passenger ship at the same time, that was the old way when the ships were mail ships, and then they put passengers on them as well. But they don't talk about it being a mail ship, do they? When have you really ever heard about them going on about it being a mail ship? So when it was registered at the same time, it's a passenger ship and a mail ship. I don't think, I mean, it shows a lot of, when we look at some of the pictures, there's lots of decks. But I don't think it was as big as you think it was. Just big in your mind.
Or swimming pools aboard the Olympic-class ships are not often discussed in detail, aside from the fact that they were in fact present and a very new feature on board ship. The swimming bath was located down on F deck, immediately starboard of the number 5 boiler casing, making it fairly far forward. It was right up against the starboard side of the hull, as indicated by the portholes which helped light the compartment. The swimming bath itself occupied a little less than half of the total size of the compartment. It was 33 feet long by 14 feet wide.
So they show you this, it was the largest ship in the world at the time, and they show you big reception rooms on the ships. Remember what I told you about you think that this is a really, really big ship? Well, the swimming pool, which you can see the pictures of the ports. I know this is a virtual reality one, but that's what they said it looked like. There you go. There it is in the hull. So if that swimming pool takes up, okay, it's a floor, not the whole thing, but if it takes up that much room, and we're going to hear how big it is in a minute again, then this ship can't be as big as you think it is. How can this ship be as big when they're showing that that's the size of the swimming pool?
As indicated by the portholes which helped light the compartment. The swimming bath itself occupied a little less than half of the total size of the compartment. It was 33 feet long by 14 feet wide, and the depth varied across its length. Forward, the depth of the bath was 7 feet 6 inches, and aft, the depth was 8 feet 4 inches. But the bath was never filled this high. Instead, it was filled to a level such that the depth was 4 feet 6 inches forward and 5 feet 4 inches aft. This allowed for an even 3 feet between the water plane and the top of the bath to accommodate the sloshing of water within the bath.
Well, I just find that quite incredible that it was registered. You know, they go on about it being a passenger ship, not really that it was a mail ship. So, they're saying it was all built by 1909, started being built in 1909 and was sailing by 1912. Obviously, if you go and look it up, you can find that it's a mail ship. But, does everybody else know about it being a mail ship? What we've got on this video a bit later on is oh, here we go, it's on now. This is the mail room, supposedly, or a reconstruction. You can have a virtual reality go around the ship, and this is it. I mean, first of all, I thought it doesn't really look that big, but there's more of it. Everything, considering it was supposed to be a first-class ship, I know this is just a model, but nothing really looks that spectacular, if you know what I mean. It's just metal with a bit of wood. Obviously, the function rooms look a little nicer, I suppose, if we believe, but very often someone will say that's the Titanic, and that's the Titanic, and when you have a look there, it can't be the same ship. Like they do in the swimming pool. They put bigger columns up in the swimming pool, but that might be one of the sister ships. I think I might have worked out the lifeboat situation, because nobody can understand, with that amount of people on the ship, that there was only so many lifeboats. It says there was 20 lifeboats. How could over 2,000 people fit in 20 lifeboats? So there you go. That is why. Let's go back to that. That is why it only had 20 lifeboats, because it wasn't registered as a people carrier, as a liner, as a business to take people. It was registered as a mail ship, which would have only had so many members of staff on board. So that's why. And you think, how the hell did this place, there you go, 65 people a boat. How could this boat have got a licence when it was carrying 2,224 passengers? If you've only got 20 lifeboats, you're only registered to carry 20 lifeboats because you're a mail ship. How the hell did they get these 2,200 passengers on there without a proper licence? Because if it had another licence on it, there would have been more boats to take the people. Now everybody says this his story doesn't add up. The reason there was only 20 lifeboats on the boat was because it was registered as a mail ship, and would have only have carried so many members of staff. So it's a little hard to work out whether this history is real when it was carrying so many people. Yes, what's your take to my thought on that? 2,224 passengers, 20 boats. This boat didn't have a licence for 2,224 passengers. It had a licence because it was a mail ship. It was registered as a mail ship, not a passenger ship. It had a gym, a swimming pool, a Turkish bath, but no, I don't know. I don't know how big the swimming pool really looks and how big the Turkish baths really look, considering it's supposed to be a first-class liner. You'd think it would all be bigger, but a lot of people don't think it's real. There are articles on the internet which show that everybody got off the ship. A lot of people wonder whether it ever happened at all, or whether it's its sister ship. But supposedly that was done on, the mail ship. But we already know they like to make things up. And that's what they do. If they get you to believe it, then you believe it, don't you? I mean, I was looking at one video about it, and this guy had thousands of people watching his video doing it. And you just think, see, that's what we do. We make, we make the news. We tell everybody what's happening, but did it? I thought about it, and I just don't think it's real, the whole thing. It was just made up for his story, myself. What's your thoughts on that one? What I thought was, when I've done this before, is that, because see, that just blows my mind if it takes up this section of the boat when it's actually only 13 feet long. I just feel that this was a big yacht, a motorised big yacht from the Tartaria times. And I've already shown you or I'm showing you through this video the other problems it has, so I just, with that small swimming pool there with those windows, some kind of big yacht. It just wasn't as big as you thought it was. Because they're saying the biggest of its kind, and Titanic films it very big. I mean, we know how big those ships are, but Titanic is quite small compared. That's my favourite picture, because look how small it is compared to the other one. It's a big yacht. And it wasn't a cruise ship, because its purpose was for transporting goods, i.e. the mail, and obviously people, because it says transporting, it's not a cruise ship. It wasn't a holiday ship. Yeah, it was just to transport things. See, these are yachts. And I know these are a bit smaller, but they're the same kind of thing to that.
Out for an even 3 feet between the water plane and the top of the bath to accommodate the sloshing of water within the bath due to the ship's movement. As it turned out, 3 feet was not enough, and the swimming bath was quite affected by the rolling and pitching of the ship, particularly the rolling due to its not being on centerline. Luckily, a system of gutters and grates were implemented around the edges of the swimming bath to funnel excess water from off the deck, but the deck itself would have remained wet in most sea conditions.
Titanic swimming pool, very rare for its time period, a heated saltwater pool located on the starboard side of F deck. And I've always wondered, you know, during the Titanic sinking, what would the swimming pool flooding have looked like. Now, I'm just going to give some facts on it, and then I'll share my take about where it's located and what I think the remains of it are right now, because during the exhibitions, you can't get to it. There is a watertight door that is blocking it. We've seen the Turkish baths. They've been preserved amazingly well. People are speculating, what if we were able to see into the swimming pool? I'm going to talk about that, but the Titanic swimming pool was designed for only first-class passengers. It was seen as a luxury back in the early 1900s. The Olympic also had one, but the Titanic's was heated. It was 6 feet deep, and the depth was constant throughout the pool, usually filled between 5 and 6 feet to allow for movement. Kind of something interesting with how they used to do pools back then, at least on ships.
The tiles on the wall.
It's all there.
You guys made the call. Look at the quality of preservation.
Yeah, Ken called it totally.
The preservation of this room is unreal.
Wow.
That tile, that's a complete panel.
This just looks like glass. Look how reflective it is.
Oh my God. Look at the ceiling fixture. Ceiling fixture.
Oh, another.
There's another one.
In place.
3 lamps, they're all still on the ceiling. That is so unbelievable. All the beamwork is there. Just look down.
Look at the decorations. That is like perfectly intact.